him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Smack-a-magab, it is time for the only news that matters. And there's one side, there's another side, and then there's the truth. So what I'm about to report to you does not mean Alex Van Halen was abusive. It's just this dude saying it, right? I could say, that Sammy Hagar wrote a great song. Doesn't mean I mean it. It doesn't mean it's true, Anyway, former Van Halen employee reveals brutal details about how Alex allegedly fired a member of the crew. Retired longtime Van Halen pyrotechnician. Van Halen had pyro? Oh wait, yeah, they did during the Vangina years, right? Because I know with Roth, they never had pyro. Anyway, because they didn't need no pyro. They were the pyro, Anyway, you original Van Halen, you go see original Van Halen, there's pyros and stuff going off. Nobody's going to care. Everybody just cared about those 4 magical people on stage. They didn't need no damn pyro. But Vangina did. Because they're boring to look at. They suck. I saw it twice. It was horrible. Anyway, retired longtime Van Halen pyrotechnician. Long time, probably started in 86. John Watkins recently took aim at Alex Van Halen and his memoir, Brothers, in a lengthy Facebook post alleging that the drummer's description of his relationship with his former, now deceased drum tech and childhood friend, Greg Emerson, is not entirely truthful. Instead, he claims that Alex's treatment of Emerson and his eventually, firing him, were much more cruel than he makes it out to be. He said, Greg was totally professional. The drum kit was always tuned and polished. Greg loved his job and he was loyal and dedicated. And it seemed the whole identity was centered upon being a part of Van Halen. Part of his duties including having a dozen 24-ounce cans of Schlitz malt liquor ready for Al, when he arrives. He would also be responsible for emptying Al's piss jar that Al used during the show. Yeah, that is dedication. Handling somebody's piss jar. Yeah. You have to pay me good to do shit like that. Anyway, as the tour went on, Al's behavior toward Greg became more extreme. Greg became the drummer's personal whipping boy. And Greg, always a professional, took it. Some nights when he got back to the bus, he looked like a scared puppy who had been kicked and terrorized. Finally, Greg asked Al what he was doing that was so wrong. Was Al really that unhappy with his work? As much as his job meant to him, Greg said that he would leave and Al could get someone else if he was what he wanted. I was standing right there when Al, in a cold, cruel, controlling voice, told Greg he was a fuck up and a pussy and easily replaceable. And if he didn't like the way things were, to not let the door hit him on his ass on the way out. Well, at least he was nice enough to see the guy's ass wouldn't get hurt, What the hell? That was very kind of Al. Anyway, Al walked away and Greg looked stunned and totally defeated. You could see his self-respect draining from his soul. I had never seen such an unnecessary and unwarranted exhibition of cruelty in my life. Greg collected himself and went about hiring a replacement. He even stayed and trained the new guy. On his last day, we had a going away party, and Greg put it on a brave face, but I talked to him privately when he was waiting for a taxi to take him to the airport. He was choking back tears, and he told me all I want was for Al to ask me to stay, and he didn't even say goodbye. The last time I saw Greg Emerson, he looked like a defeated and broken man. I lost all respect for Alex Van Halen that day. All right, there you go. Hey, I'm not saying it's true or false. I know a lot of people will read this and think, oh man, that's messed up of Al. Because that's human nature. This guy could be telling the truth, but we don't know. For somebody that doesn't know the situation, like me, I'm not going to pass judgment, All I know is that Alex Van Halen, to me, can do no wrong now. That he's been dissing Sammy Hagar and saying that, hey, David Lee Roth's a prick, but I still talk to him. And the magic of Van Halen was with David Lee Roth, not Sammy Hagar. Hell yeah. I love Al for saying that. And, and all this stuff that Al did, hey, he was an alcoholic. He was always drinking, Who knows, man? He had a past, We all had a past. Hey, I even had a past. Back in the 80s, I punched a girl right in the face for no reason whatsoever. All right, in my defense, it was a dream, but still, I punched a girl in the face. I'm not proud of that, Even though I woke up and realized in real life I didn't punch a girl. But you know what I'm trying to say? We all have our crimes from the past, I know there's a lot of things in my past that I'm not proud of, but we're not that way anymore. So if that was Al, he's not that way anymore. And plus, he dissed Sammy Hagar. And that shit's awesome because it's true. The magic of Van Halen is with David Lee Roth. I was thinking the other day about Vangina, and I said, you know what? Vangina, to me, reminds me of the Beatles. Not the band, the bug that you find in shit. That Beatle. And if Al was a prick in the past, I'll tell you. What he said about Vangina when Vangina first started, this is the best version of Van Halen. The other version was a Volkswagen, wear a Ferrari or some shit like that. The guy was messed up, man. That's a lot of drinking. That's a serious alcoholic to think that, And he's saying that when Sammy Hagar Belcher first joined the band, when he had that stupid mop on his head. Man, what the hell? That is some hard drinking back then. So yeah, he was a prick when he thought of that. But look, he quit drinking and he realized, holy shit, man. We really sucked with Belcher. But the magic was with David Lee Roth, man. That's why I love Alex Van Halen now. He's a different man. You can tell back then, thinking that Vangina was good, his brain wasn't functioning well. It's good to see him back, where he's actually, not a drunk idiot that thinks Vangina was actually good to begin with, But anyway, yeah, it's sad if it's true. This guy seemed like a nice guy, but, I'm just hearing one side. Like I said, there's 3 sides to every story, so I'm not going to jump to conclusions. Every time I do like some Van Halen report, people are always saying stuff like, oh, Alex and Eddie were dicks. They were pricks. They were this and that. And I'm like, why don't you call it like, it actually is? Michael Anthony Belcher, Sammy's wife, has no backbone. Sammy is out for the dollar. And Dave, he's a whack job. You know, they're all dysfunctional, man. How are you gonna fucking just slam the brothers and leave all the other ones out? And I know Michael Anthony may be like the least, offensive one out of them all. But hey, man, he went and joined Sammy, and that pissed the brothers off. All right? They have their reasons that you and, well, not me. I realize why, they didn't like Mike and Sammy. I realize how they thought Sammy sucked and they made a bad mistake. I do realize all that, But at the same time, they saw that as Mike, was backstabbing them. And then there was also the story, allegedly is what I heard, that when Eddie and Al's mom died, Mike didn't even reach out. That's just a story I heard, But either way, Michael Anthony Belcher, hey, he's happily married to Sammy, so whatever. But I think they're all pricks. David Lee Roth's a prick too, So if Eddie and Al are pricks, like you all say, I can see it. I can see them all being pricks, though. I don't think everybody in this whole group of people are really that great. Especially Sammy Belcher. I mean, really, man. It just seemed to me that, everybody's trying to tear down Alex and Eddie. And it's like, hey, I understand your point, but, man, the rest of them are pricks too, man. Anyway, that's what I think. And to all of you, that want to hate on Alex, do it for me, because I'm not going to hate on the guy. I want him to continue to say Sammy sucks in his own little special way. Alex Van Halen rules. I think that. But I'm not telling anybody else to think that. But I think that nobody's going to change my mind. What's on your mind? Leave it in the comments below. Doesn't matter if you disagree with me, man. Just be respectful, okay? That's all I ask. And thank you all for watching The Only News That Matters. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Ring that little notification bell. And like the video, because that would be cool for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty, listen to Black Sabbath, and smack 'em on cob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.